Hello folks, this is Nathan from the Unapologetic Hunter. Here today we're going to talk about our basic setup if we go on a hunting and camping trip. So this is how we set up camp, even if it's like really cold weather or whatever. Anytime we go out hunting and camping, this is our basic setup. So you're probably thinking, man, he's crazy. He's got a easy up and a cot and a sleeping bag. But after I explain it, you'll kind of get the idea, and maybe even think it's a good idea. So it's not really all that cold today, and not going to be cold tonight. So what I'm out doing is I'm going squirrel hunting and deer scouting, mainly deer scouting. But if you're out deer scouting and squirrel season's in, you might as well try to get you some taco meat. I really like squirrel tacos, really like squirrel gravy. So our basic setup in cold weather trips is we put this easy up canopy up, and we put tarps on three sides of it. The side walls and the back wall, we hang tarps. And then we take and put straw down at the base of each tarp, keep the cold air from blowing in, and we build a fire out in front of the opening, so it kind of blows all the hot air into the tarp, or the canopy rather. And we usually build a fire with 2 ramps made out of some pretty sturdy logs, and set it up higher that way, and then we set some logs down them 2 ramps. And what it is, when the logs that's in the fire burn out, another log rolls down, and it keeps your fire going all night. Because there ain't nothing worse than waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning with the fire out, freezing about half to death, and trying to get a fire stoked back up. So that's pretty much our basic setup. Tarps around 3 sides, fire built out in front. What I got back here is a cold weather sleeping bag. It's rated 10 degrees or -10, one or the other. I know there's a 10 involved. Don't really pay attention, because usually with the fire and the tarps, you know, a lot of times I'll wake up the next morning and actually be sweating a little bit. So it's really important, in my opinion, to spend a little extra money and get you a really good cot, and that'll be durable and last a long time. You get what you pay for. So it's really important to stay up off the ground. And what my buddy Will does a lot of times, Will from the Unapologetic Hunter, he'll lay a mat down on his tarp, and that keeps cold air from underneath kind of getting to him. And I might have messed up part of his video, because we're getting ready to do a 3-part series on this, you know, camp hacks, and you know, the way we have our camp set up and stuff. So you'll probably see from Will here some of the things he does at camp. But very important, get you a good cot, get you a good sleeping bag, because if you come out here with just a regular old sleeping bag or some blankets or something, you will get cold. But pretty much what I've got with me here today, I'm by myself, so I didn't really bring all that much. I haven't got my fire ring set up yet. I was just kind of setting everything up, and got to thinking, man, this would be a good time to make this video. I got a lugaloo here. You can buy these pretty cheap. It'll show you directions and everything about like disposal and things like that. It's a lot easier to use one of these than to have to go use the restroom out in the woods somewhere. I've got my cooler with just enough food for me and water, and for a couple days. I've got a chainsaw, a splitting maul, and a a little camp axe, and you're probably wondering, why is he bringing a chainsaw to public hunting land? I'll tell you that here in a minute. Got our skillet over there. We you know, no matter what, we always take this particular skillet, and the reason why is we've used the daylights out of this thing for years, and there's been so much bacon cooked on this thing that everything you fix tastes like bacon. And I'd rather bring that big heavy skillet with me than not have food that tastes like bacon. So I also got my backpack over there with some essentials in it. My hunting clothes are in there. We also have a video series on our backpacks and how we pack them. So if you get a chance, watch them videos also. But this is pretty much our basic setup. About the chainsaw, on public land, you're not allowed to cut a tree down. Don't never cut a tree down on public land. They'll look down on that. I'll look down on you doing it. But if there's a tree that has fell, or an old dead tree laying there, things like that, you can cut that up. So what we usually do is bring a chainsaw, and we'll bring enough firewood to get our fire going for the first night or whatever. But we'll go around the camp out in the woods and pick up any wood that's laying on the ground or whatever, and bring it back, put it in the pile. And if we're out there and see a tree laying, we'll take chainsaws, cut that tree up, bring all the wood back to camp, and then have a wood splitting party. And it's always fun to be out there with your buddies, all of you splitting wood, and that way you can get in this competition, brag on yourself, talk about how you're so much better at splitting wood than everybody else. And then we stack all that wood, and we have wood for the rest of our trip. So and firewood on even a 2 or 3 day camp out is very important. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and it's educational to you. This is pretty much our basic setup for everything, and like I said, this is going to be a 2 or 3 part series, and we'll be talking about some things. I'll get in more in depth with the chainsaw and things like that, and talk to you about a few things that I bring that just makes it easier on you. Some luxuries that I bring, believe it or not. You know, you're sitting around camp, there's a time you take to just sit around and make fun of your buddies and stuff, but there's times, you know, you want to kind of get into some competitions and things. A lot of times we'll take some time to have a shooting competition. We play horse with 22 rifles, just like you play horse with basketball. And if you ask anybody at the Unapologetic Hunter, or anybody that we hunt with, they probably won't want to admit who's won it every time. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you don't care, you know, take some time and watch our backpack series, and watch our 2 or 3 part series on this camping thing. We'd be really honored if you'd like this video. We'd be extremely honored if you would subscribe to our channel. Everybody stay safe out there, and hopefully this helped you out some. Make some comments about things. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, but you may throw a comment out there that says, hey man, that's a really good idea, we might start doing that too. You know, you may help us out. So appreciate everybody. God bless, and be safe out there in the field. Appreciate every one of you. Thanks a lot.